This is a disclaimer for the broadcast. Remember to be mindful on and off the broadcast. Opinions spoken on the broadcast are solely the speakers and not IDEPIs. Sensitive topics may be covered on the broadcast, including, but not limited to, violence, abuse, suicide, and mental health. This broadcast is meant as a learning opportunity for everyone involved. Thank you, and please enjoy the broadcast.
Every week, if not every day, we have a case of a girl who was killed by a boyfriend.
And according to Sutherland, 1 in 5 adolescents reported having a boyfriend or a girlfriend in the 5th grade.
Ask as many questions as possible. Like every week, if not every day, we have a case of a girl who was killed by a boyfriend.
With relationships, I feel like teenagers feel like they have this person who they can tell everything to.
About like love bombing, like a lot of abusive partners do that where they kind of just
Hi guys, my name is Ashley and I go to St. Martin University and I'm the office administrator of IDEPI. And today I'm going to be the host of today's episode. And among with me, I have my peers.
Hi, my name is Bakita and I am a youth peer leader at IDEPI and I'm excited to be a part of this episode today.
Hi, my name is Glory Mena.
Hello, my name is Rosalie Moore and I'm here with the IDEPI.
Hello, my name is Trina Wamonyo and I'm a youth leader here at ADEPI.
Hi, I'm Sardwan.
Hi, I'm Marin.
Hi, I'm Philip.
Hi, I'm Faith.
Hi, I'm Soledad.
Hi, I'm Hermit.
So for this first question, there's 2 questions within the question. The first one being, what is consent? The second one is, how should you ensure that consent is clearly communicated before and during the sexual act?
Okay. I think I can answer the second part of the question a little bit better. I think just the best way to do it is like verbal. Just it doesn't have to be constant, but just asking a person like maybe like 3 times, twice, just to really make sure, even when you're in the moment, just ask one more time. And it's not like something that's going to ruin the mood. I feel like a lot of people think that asking for consent during the act would ruin the mood, but I disagree. I think it would like make you feel safer because obviously like when you're doing sexual acts with someone, you don't want to feel unsafe. You want to feel like, good. So I think it's good to just ask multiple times. That's the safest way, in my opinion.
I do agree with that too, because you have to agree with yourself too. If you're saying yes to the person, do you think, oh, I'm saying yes? Do you feel good saying yes? Do you feel good saying no? Because you can change your answer anytime, but you just gotta tell them that. Because if you don't tell them, they will just think something different. Oh, she said yes, and then there will be consequences with what you had said. Yeah. Yes. For the second question, I don't know much, but just be careful.
Consent is all about an agreement with each of the 2 partners, and I feel it's very important to be in a mood where you agree with your partner before any act, and I feel being on a consent is good, like to prevent most cases that appear in relationship and to avoid violence that happens during relationship.
I think I can answer the first part a lot better. I feel as though like you should ask at first. You should ask to really make sure like, is this what the person wants? Because you don't want to move too fast and then there ends up on being like severe consequences for your actions. So I believe that asking should be like the first thing. Like this should be like really, it's all about communicating. So it's just, you really have to make sure like you guys are really understanding each other and what like this is really about. So I feel like the intentions of content should be like interpreted.
I mean, sometimes when someone says yes, their body language says no. So I feel like the other person should be aware of like what is happening, and they should always be reassuring. Like, are you sure about this? Are you okay? Like, do you want it? Like, they should ask like over and over again just to be sure, because some people they feel like they're obliged to say yes even though they can't say no. So I feel like the other person should be aware of their body language.
Yes.
And I also feel like it comes with being smart, like intelligent. Just because someone told you yes, if you look at them and their body language is just like a no, just take that as a no and keep it pushing. Just don't start doing whatever and just be like, oh, but she told me yes. Like, okay, she told you yes, but you know, okay, was it a yes?
It's like, how does she feel too with that saying yes and saying no?
I also want to add and say that I think consent is like permission that you may ask from someone else about, what's going on, and I
How should you ensure that consent is clearly communicated before and after sexual activities?
Okay, so I feel like consent is an agreement between two people to perform an action. It could be anything, it could be being in a relationship, it could be a sexual act, it could be anything. Now, for the second question, I think it's talking about sexual activity or just before
and during.
Okay, so I was talking to them a few minutes ago, and I was telling them there's an acronym called FRIES, FRIES, and the F is supposed to be consent, is supposed to be free. I think, I don't know, I think it's supposed, don't quote me on that, but it's supposed to be free. And then R is supposed to be reversible. Like, you might say yes to the action, but you're allowed to say no and reverse your consent that you did in the beginning, and the other partner is supposed to respect that no matter what. And it's supposed to be informed. We have talked about how communication is key in everything, so it's supposed to be really informed. I don't know about the E and the S, but I don't know if we're supposed to be engaging. I don't know. But I don't know about the E and the S. I just know about the first three.
And I think there's this stigma that needs to be stopped, that when you consent to one thing, it doesn't mean that you agree to everything. Like last time we had this discussion, and I'm sure you all remember, we were talking about how if a guy invites a girl like to a hotel room or flies you out, which we see happening a lot, does that mean that if she gets there, she has to sleep with the guy? And I think, no, that's not it at all. Like, and the guy doesn't, like, he needs to stop thinking, oh, because she said yes, she's gonna sleep with me. Like, she has to sleep with me. And if she doesn't, then it's bad. Like, why did she come?
Yes.
And building on what you said, Trina, like, you need to be comfortable with who you're with. Like, you need to trust that person so that they also know if you say yes and you mean no, like, they can know. Yes.
For me, I think for us young, we just do what we are doing because we're young and we don't have anybody to talk about, anybody who can teach us about life. We just follow other people what they're doing, and we just doing that too. And we need one person who we can talk about, or adults. When you're young, 18, you're 14, like when I went to school, there's like some of students there that smoking, and that can affect you too if you don't have anybody who can tell you, no, smoking is bad. We don't know, we're too young. We keep learning about life. That, for me, I think that happened because of that. That's why a lot of things like that happen, because we just want to do it because we're young. Let me do it. Let me enjoy my life. Yeah, we don't think about it, and we don't know if it's bad or not. That's what I think.
I really appreciate what you just shared. I think that he said we as young people, we need older people to look up to, older people to teach us that this is wrong, this is right, if you do this, this will happen to you. But if you don't have someone to talk to, you're obviously just gonna do it and just learn the consequences as you do it. And this is where like IDEPI comes in. Honestly, when I joined IDEPI, I found people who I could talk to. I found people who I can look up to. our founder Beatrice, she has great leadership skills, and like I was learning from her. And that's if I never joined IDEPI, I wouldn't have someone to look up to, or like someone to talk to, someone to help you. And also I engaged with all of you guys because you guys teach me a lot. I learn and grow, and yeah.
Yes. Bakita, what do you think are the consequences of non-consensual acts?
I think depression is definitely one of them. I also think anxiety is also one of them, social anxiety. I also think it leads teens into engaging in harmful behaviors such as drugs, drinking, and it can also lead to like mental health. You want to, suicide attempts, and yeah. Does anyone want to add on to that?
I agree with you. I think, especially at this age, academic is mostly your main identity, so you want to keep that intact as much as you can. And following up with that question, does anyone want to add on to that question?
Yeah, I think that with depression, it leads to people like retracting from other people, and it would lead them to not getting the help that they need, and they won't know like where to get the help if they're not talking to people around them about like what happened and stuff. So I feel like that's a consequence of that one.
The consequences are like depression, anxiety, and also when you're around people, you don't feel safe and like feel like you don't belong there. You feel like, oh, you have so many overthinking thoughts, and it's really bad.
And one thing I want to add to what Jeannie had said, you always have someone to talk to, and if you think you don't, and if you have a problem, speak out. Because there's someone out there who's experiencing the same thing as you, and just go out and speak your mind. Yeah.
I think obviously, like, if that happens to a person in the future, they're gonna suffer, like, to feel safe around people. Not even if it's sexual, just feeling safe. Like, if a person like touches you, if you're like friends, it kind of, just when something is done to you without your consent, it affects everything you do in your life. It's hard to like keep going on because everything is physical. It's like you might get uncomfortable with people touching you, and it's just like it makes you feel isolated and by yourself because you feel like you can't speak to people or communicate with people normally, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, I also agree with what Faith is saying. I believe like it just changes something with someone, Sometimes people feel like, if I tell this person, they might not get it and stuff like that. And it's like, it makes people insecure too. Like they just feel like they'll never love another person the same way because they feel like everyone is out to get them.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I just feel like these are just the consequences of those types of actions.
Some consequences are they can experience depression and anxiety symptoms.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good.
Lori, what do you think is the appropriate time to have a relationship with someone?
I think the best time to start dating someone is when you feel comfortable enough to do so. That's what I think.
Yes, I think that is a very good answer. You need to be comfortable mentally, physically, to be able to have a relationship with someone.
In my beliefs, there's really not a right age, because especially in the society, there's not really a right age. But if you think in a household, it's probably going to be 16. I don't know, probably going to be 18. But there's really not a right age because even at a young age, you see kindergartens dating other kindergarteners, even in school. So there's really not like an age limit to start dating.
Personally, I don't feel like there's really any age. Like it's really I'm gonna try to explain it. So it's like some parents will really like ask their kids not to be in a relationship when they're too young, but then it's just like it's something in us. Like we just go around and just do whatever we're not supposed to be doing. So it's really like I don't feel like there's an age exact, like a fixed age for somebody to be in a relationship. I do feel like people can grow though. Maybe when they grow older, looking back at it, they'll be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have done that. So I just feel like there's no fixed age for a relationship.
I agree with that. I would say, well, I talked about this with my teacher and I said that, like, there's different maturity levels. There's others that will date when they're younger and the relationship won't be as serious. But when we're talking serious relationships, I think it depends because there's 16-year-olds that will actually be committed and there's 18-year-olds that will goof around or not even get into a serious relationship till they're 30. But it just depends on the person's maturity level and how they'll take the relationship.
I agree. There's like no fixed age, but I think there's like a safe age, like maybe sophomore, junior, senior year. Like in high school, I feel like that would be like an appropriate time, just so you can like get experience, if that makes sense. Like just so you can kind of like get experience, that's it. But I completely agree with what she's saying. There's not really a fixed age, but I think there is like a safe age.